video, we're going to be talking about what breaks a fast when intermittent fasting and what you can have during your fasting window. Now, I know some people might think this sounds like a dumb question. What can you have during a fast? Isn't it obvious? Well, no, it's actually not. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to intermittent fasting because there are so many variations of it. Some people drink only water. Some people drink bone broth. Some people put butter in their coffee. So what's the truth? What actually breaks a fast? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by DOESN. DOESN is a personalized intermittent fasting app that helps you to do fasting the right way. Created by professional nutritionists, the DOESN app helps you to choose a fasting method that best fits with your lifestyle and your goals. It was ranked the #1 fitness app on the App Store in 2020. I've been using the DOESN app for a couple of months now, and I think it is extremely beneficial for anyone who is just getting into intermittent fasting. Having a fasting tracker that lets you know how long you fasted and how long left you have to go can help to hold you accountable and keep you motivated. And what sets DOESN apart from other fasting apps I've tried is all the features it includes, while still being simple and intuitive to use. I really like using a fasting tracker because this saves you from having to count back to when you started, figure out how long your fast was and how long you have to go. It's a really big time saver and just helps you keep track of your progress in terms of how you've been fasting during the week or the past month and the progress that you've made. And in addition, the DOESN app also contains over 5,000 recipes, no equipment at-home workouts, and daily personalized tips to achieve your goals. I find that intermittent fasting comes pretty naturally for anyone who eats a low-carb diet like I do. Most people, when they start keto, they just aren't as hungry in the morning and they find that they just fall into intermittent fasting naturally. Now, I will just say that not all of the recipes on the DOESN app are low carb or are keto, but a lot of them are. If you are just getting into intermittent fasting, I think using the DOESN app can help to accelerate you towards your goals. And if you want to check out the app, subscriptions are currently on sale for 75% off, but they've also given me a code for an additional 10% off, which comes to just $2.50 a week for a 6-month plan. However, this code only is going to work for the first 500 people who sign up and use it, so I'll put the link in the description box down below, and make sure to use code KATE10 to save that additional 10%. And just a heads up, to apply this discount, you need to sign up through a web browser and not through the app. Thank you again to DOESN for sponsoring this video. So if you are watching this video, it's probably because you are new to intermittent fasting and you're trying to figure out what you can have in your fasting window. So no matter if you are doing a 12-hour intermittent fast, 16/8, or alternate day fasting, the same rules apply. So in today's video, we're going to be going over 12 popular drinks and talking about whether or not they break a fast or they don't. But first, I want to quickly go over what it actually means to break a fast. To break a fast. So when we talk about breaking a fast, we're essentially talking about the point where you switch from being in a fasted state to a fed state. When we're in a fasted state, our blood sugar should be at baseline and stable. Insulin production is downregulated and autophagy increases. Our body will be burning through our stored carbs for energy and then shifting to using stored fat instead. Now, when we consume something that breaks a fast, fat burning is downregulated and insulin increases. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just means that your fast is broken. So obviously, the simplest definition of what breaks a fast is anything that stimulates insulin. But there really is more to it than that. First off, we need to figure out why you are doing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting means you have a fasting schedule. You fast for a certain amount of time every day, and all of your meals are condensed into a smaller time frame. The most common reasons that people do intermittent fasting are blood sugar regulation, lowering their fasting blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity, burning more fat through ketosis, and giving your gut a rest. And when you fast for longer periods of time, usually over 24 hours, this is when autophagy really starts to ramp up. Autophagy being when damaged cells in your body start to get recycled. Autophagy is really great for healing and preventing disease. And you still get some autophagy when you're doing intermittent fasting and shorter fasts, but it really ramps up around 36 hours. Now, if autophagy is your goal, then yes, anything that stimulates insulin is going to stop autophagy, and that's going to break your fast. And if your goal is giving your digestive system a break, then you want to avoid anything that's going to stimulate digestion. But if your goal of intermittent fasting is weight loss, blood sugar regulation, or improving insulin sensitivity, then you do have a bit more wiggle room. So what's really important to keep in mind here is what the goal of your fast is, and if the drink in question is going to work against those goals. But with that being said, let's get into the 12 drinks that I am frequently asked about and if they break a fast or not. Still water. Of course, regular water is not going to be breaking your fast, and you should be drinking it during your fasting window. A bonus tip is to add a pinch or two of salt into your water to get some extra electrolytes, and this can make fasting a lot easier. Sparkling water. Sparkling water or carbonated water is completely fine for an intermittent fast. It has no calories and nothing that would stimulate the production of insulin, so you can really drink as much as you would like. Black coffee. Black coffee is also acceptable for fasting if your goals are weight loss, autophagy, or blood sugar regulation. Caffeinated or decaf, both can be included. It does stimulate digestion though, so if you're trying to do a gut reset, then it's best to avoid. Coffee with milk. Now, coffee with added milk is a different story. If you add, say, a splash of it into your coffee, this is probably not going to affect weight loss or blood sugar. Insulin might bump up slightly, but it's going to come down fairly quickly because the portion is so small. Having a full latte though, yeah, that's going to bump your insulin up more because it contains protein and carbohydrates. But if you're having a latte and it's allowing you to fast for longer, then the pros might outweigh the cons. But for autophagy and gut health, coffee with milk definitely breaks a fast. Bulletproof coffee. Now, with bulletproof coffee, again, it's a little bit iffy. Of course, it depends what you're putting in your coffee and how much. If you have a small amount of MCT oil, that's not going to break your fast for weight loss. For autophagy and gut health, it will. But MCT oil actually enhances certain benefits of fasting. The body easily converts MCTs into ketones to use for energy, and it has been shown to improve insulin-mediated glucose metabolism. Butter is another popular ingredient of bulletproof coffee. It is almost entirely fat, which barely stimulates insulin, if at all, but it does contain a very small amount of protein. Again, this is a very small amount, so it's probably not going to impact your insulin enough to matter. So a bulletproof coffee with a tablespoon of MCT oil and a tablespoon of butter, yeah, that's probably going to be fine. Again, if your goals are blood sugar regulation, weight loss, improving your insulin sensitivity. But of course, some people hear that bulletproof coffee is okay during a fasting window and they go wild. What's important to remember here is that bulletproof coffee is supposed to be replacing a meal. You drink it in the morning and it allows you to push your first meal until later in the day. But if it's not doing that for you, then it might not be benefiting you. Apple cider vinegar. Now, this is an interesting one that a lot of people like to include during their fasting window because it can help to suppress appetite. Apple cider vinegar has next to no calories and it won't stimulate insulin, so it's good to include for weight loss and autophagy. I actually have a whole video on apple cider vinegar and weight loss because outside of intermittent fasting, it does have a lot of benefits when it comes to weight loss as well. So I'll link that up above and you can check it out afterwards. For gut health though, apple cider vinegar does stimulate digestion, so it's best to avoid. Bone broth. Now again, this one's interesting. So far we haven't talked about any drinks that contain protein, but bone broth is rich in protein. A lot of people do fasts, including bone broth. However, it does break a fast when it comes to autophagy. When it comes to gut health, it's a bit questionable. Yes, there's a lot of protein that's going to stimulate digestion, so in that sense, it might not be great. However, bone broth is known to be very soothing for the gut and beneficial for gut healing. When it comes to drinking bone broth during your fasting window for weight loss, the pros probably outweigh the cons. Lemon water. Lemon water only contains trace amounts of calories, so it can be included if your goals are metabolically focused or autophagy focused. For gut rest though, it does need to be digested, so it's best to be avoided. Kombucha. Although kombucha is usually pretty low in calories, it does contain a decent amount of carbohydrates and sugar, usually. It might be okay for weight loss, but depending on how much sugar is in the one you're drinking, it can negatively affect blood sugar. Tea. Unsweetened tea is generally okay for all types of fasts. Just be careful of ones with added sugar and added sweeteners. Collagen and protein powder. Collagen and protein powder fall into the same category as bone broth, as they are rich in protein. These are generally fine for weight loss and blood sugar, but for a gut reset or maximizing autophagy, they will definitely break your fast. Diet soda. And finally, we have diet soda, which is a bit of a controversial one. A lot of people swear by diet soda when they're fasting. It is basically no calories or carbs or sugar. However, sometimes the sweet taste alone is enough to stimulate insulin. The body anticipates sugar is coming and releases insulin to deal with it. But since there isn't any actually coming in, the insulin still wants to take sugar from the bloodstream. And this can cause your blood sugar to drop lower than your baseline, which can lead to cravings and actually make it harder to fast. And of course, if insulin is stimulated, then autophagy is going to slow down. And when it comes to gut health, the artificial sweeteners in diet soda have actually been shown to cause damage. Now, like I said, some people drink diet soda during their fasting window and they make it work. But for a lot of people, it actually makes fasting harder and works against their goals. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comment section down below what you currently consume during your fasting window and if you're gonna make any changes after watching this video. And remember that the first 500 people who check out Do Fasting and sign up are going to save an additional 10% using the code KATE10. The link is in the description box down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, well, first off, thank you so much for watching, but you might also enjoy my video on the different variations of fasting, which you can check out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find them here. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.